My DeLorean sat for over 32 years without ever being started, but after cleaning its nasty fuel tank, upgrading the fuel pump and sender unit, flushing out the fuel lines, replacing the fuel filter, and cleaning the mechanical fuel injectors multiple times in the coolest way ever, oh, and replacing the CIS fuel distributor, the DeLorean ran like this. That ain't good. Sure, it smoked a lot in the beginning, but after running for a few minutes, it cleared up and ran pretty well, and I was a happy camper to say the least. The DeLorean was back and running on its own fuel system, and outside of an exhaust leak, I was feeling pretty good about meeting my Halloween deadline of having this car completed and on the road again. But there's one little problem, and they call it the Valley of Death. Under the intake and at the top of the engine block is an internal oil passage that can fail. The top of the engine block, where this oil passage is, can corrode and even break off, causing you to lose all of your oil and all of your oil pressure. And this mostly happens to DeLoreans with fluid leaks that have been sitting around for a long time, like mine. Now, unfortunately, there's no fix for this outside of replacing the entire engine, and therefore many DeLorean owners just choose not to ever look. They hope they get lucky, and ignorance is bliss. But I can't sleep at night already. I have to know the truth. So cross your fingers, do a little dance, wish me luck, because we're about to find out if I have a valley of death or a valley of life. The Valley of Death is just a few inches down from here, so we need to remove the intake. This is gonna be nice for some while you're in theirs because there are seals and gaskets that we can replace as well, but we gotta start off with a harness. So I just connected the idle switch right here, and we have a connector here that says 60K on it, I think. All right, maybe we can just leave the harness like so. We're gonna find out. And we have to disconnect the throttle linkage. There's a little clip here. It looks easy enough to remove. I don't know how getting that back on. Okay, it's off. Looks like we have to remove this bracket because it's attached to the intake. And it's only attached with one bolt. It looked like at some point it had two down there. We have one right here. And, okay, yeah, I could have disconnected that linkage here. Probably would have been much easier. I'm not a DeLorean mechanic, people, all right? I'm learning as we go along. Now, I'm hoping that I can just move this fuel distributor out of the way so we don't have to remove all the lines. We're gonna find out, though. And it's held in by 3 flat blade screws. Cool. One of those is hiding underneath this line right here. There she is. Now, let's see. How much movement are we gonna get here, people? Give me some movement. Oh, we're not gonna get a lot of movement. No, that is gonna be a pain in the butt. This whole thing's gotta come up and this is gonna be in the way. All right, I'm gonna have to take off all the lines and just remove this again. It only takes a few minutes. We'll have to replace a few dollars of those washers again later, but this will make life easier. Return line be gone. I gotta say, these still look really good. We could probably reuse them, but they're cheap. They're cheap. And here's our feed. Okay, we'll lose a bunch of these little copper washers. Gonna be everywhere for the rest of time. That's okay. I have everything off but the injector lines, so we'll do those now. That's the last one, and now this guy should come off. There we go. Ooh, losing some fuel. Losing fuel. Now we're gonna find out if we loosen these up, if this whole piece will come out. That would give us a ton of room. Okay, let's see, one more. It's gotta be a long one, and I lost another washer. All right. Okay, is this gonna, oh yes. Look at that. Yes, this is just free floating in there. Oh, this is great. This will give us a ton of room. Oh, look at this. This is weird. Look at that. Oh, okay. That just pulled right out. Cool. Lots of seals and gaskets and stuff, and here we can replace. Look at that, that's not in the best of shape either. I love this stuff. It's like a breath of fresh air into an engine. Like, look at these old crusty gaskets. Ain't nobody got time for that. Look at our dual DeLorean throttle bodies. Oh, cool, it's got springs in there. I don't know what that does exactly, but definitely blocks airflow, that's for sure. Probably isn't a ported DeLorean throttle body option out there. I highly doubt it. All right, I'm gonna remove some brackets here. Get this out of the way. All right. Bracket coming out, lost the bolt, but we'll find it. Hopefully it's sitting on the Valley of Life. I'm doing all of these by hand with the hammer as well. Get it nice and seated. There we go. Okay, maybe this will come out now. Man, it's close. This better not be too wide to like just rise up. It shouldn't be. Oh no, there we go. Okay, we got something connected here. Looks like a vacuum line. Okay, that needs to be replaced. While we're in there, oh, there's more stuff at the back. Okay, we have a sensor at the back here. Not sure what this is, but we're gonna find out. That's how you learn about your car. You just rip it all apart and then figure it out. So people that know DeLoreans or old Volvo engines, what is this right here? I don't know. Okay, now this should come right out. Perfect. And anytime you can go back together with bolts and screws so you don't forget where they go, do it. Now we don't have to think about where this goes. Looks like there's a little port right here, possibly a vacuum port, something like that. It's blocked off. And then if you guys were around for the last video, you know all about how this situation works. And we're leaking engine oil out of here. Okay. That's just PCV oil after, 40 years or however old this car is. All right, cool. That's gone. Sweet, told you we'd find it. With this stuff removed, we get a little glimpse underneath. We do have some fluid right here. That is not good, but this is not the valley. The valley is right below this. We still have to remove the intake. I can also see that pretty sure you'd have to take this all apart just to do cap and rotor and wires, because that's the distributor right there. So we're gonna take that cap off and see what's going on. But overall, so far, this is pretty easy. Almost as easy as using my Carly OBD scanner. Now, Carly might not work on a DeLorean, but let me show you what it can do on this gorgeous M550i. So if you have an OBD2 car, you're gonna have an OBD2 diagnostic port. You plug Carly in, you'll get some lights on the bottom. And because Carly uses Bluetooth, you can connect to the app on your phone. And we're gonna go to diagnostics and check for issues. And now it's scanning all of the control units in this BMW, and there's a lot of them. 41 issues found. It's a BMW for you. After scanning for codes, you can look through all of the control units that have issues, and then it'll read out all of the other ones that don't have any issues. And this is a very affordable scanner, so to be able to scan all the control units on a BMW is very impressive. Something else I love is Smart Mechanic, so check this out. This will show you the fault code, the last occurrence, and then give you a guide on how to fix it. You can even learn all about the system on the car that's broken, and if that's not enough, they give you even more information you can click on to try and troubleshoot your issue. Now, Carly has a ton of features outside of diagnostics, and one of my favorite is coding. And on some cars, there are dozens of convenience feature coding options, so you can do cool stuff like this. Turn off the beeping noise it makes when you lock your car. I've also used the coding feature to program factory lap timers right into the instrument cluster, and I've used it to code in the window one touch feature on some BMWs that for some reason doesn't work when you have the door open. Oh, and check this out. If you have an active exhaust system, you can open and close your flap with a push of a button. We'll keep it in loud mode. There is so much you can do with this app, like reset maintenance indicator lights, check engine live data, and used car check. Let's start this right now. So if you're going to look at a used car, definitely hook up Carly and hope that it says that it hasn't detected any tampering like on this BMW. If you guys want to use Carly's more advanced features like coding, Smart Mechanic, and much more, there is a yearly license, but the standard version of the app, which is great, is totally free, and you guys can get 15% off your very own Carly OBD scanner and coding tool by clicking on my link down below and using code LEGIT23 at checkout. This is a limited time deal, so definitely take advantage. And with that, back to the DeLorean. Okay, I think we are pretty close here. We just have to remove the idle air control motor because it's bolted onto the side of the intake. And get this, there's only 4 bolts that hold the entire intake on. Yeah, that is pretty easy to take off. I was like struggling through the spark plugs and stuff because this looked way more difficult than that. I don't know what I was thinking back there in Minnesota. I don't know. Why did I leave that in? Yeah, I should have just moved this out of the way. Okay, live and learn. And we'll put these bolts back on. And we have some grounds we have to remove as well. All of these Allens freak me out. They're quite corroded. We'll have to clean those up. There we go. These are grounds. What? That looks detached. This harness, hopefully we can work around. I believe this is the last piece of the puzzle. I have this 10 mil here, and it didn't break. Thank you, 10 mil. Which is a long one. There we go. And let's see, does this just pull up? Yep. And there's an O-ring. Ooh, super hard. Yeah, rock hard O-ring. Definitely need to replace that. Feels good, feels good. While we're in there. From there, we just have a bolt there, a bolt there, and then one right there. And these are 11 millimeter. So far, so good. Get this plug wire out of the way. There we go. Ratcheting wrench for the win. Okay, haven't broken any yet. It's good, we're moving. No way, is this it? There's just 4 of these little guys for the whole intake. I broke these other 2 loose. These guys are crusty. Number 3. I think that's it. We're gonna find out. Gasket's definitely holding it. Oh, it popped. Yay. You know what I keep thinking in my head that as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death? Coolio? I keep on thinking of, valley of death. Valley of life. Valley of life. That's what I should be thinking of. Not death. All right, I think these hose clamps are getting in the way right here. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of life. What do they say after that? As I walk through the valley of the shadow of life, I keep my... I don't know. I'm bad. There we go. The old DeLorean twisteroo. Oh no, I see rusty stuff. I think what the big issue is that coolant leaks underneath because as you can see, there's tubes and stuff. Coolant has water and water makes things rust. So that's the issue. And it sits in there in a puddle, for 40 years and can just literally eat away at the metal. Please, no. No. That is bad. Oh no. Are you kidding me? No way. What in the world? Wow, look at the amount of dirt and sand and what? This pipe right here is for coolant. That's not what we're talking about. It's the actual block that can corrode away. Oh, this is unreal. I'm torn right now. Would this sand and dirt have protected the block? No, it would also hold moisture in. Oh my gosh, this goes deep. I'm digging a hole. There is so much dirt in here and it just never ends. Whoa, look at that. We got a crater inside of my DeLorean engine. Wow, okay, well, I'll tell you this much. This pipe is definitely getting replaced because that is not aluminum and that is in bad shape. Oh, look at this. I think this is probably what happens. These hoses right here leak coolant and it sits right in the valley of the engine. I think it's time for a vacuum. And then, yeah, we got to remove this coolant pipe situation here. Oh man, fingers crossed, guys, that we don't see a bunch of like porous metal at the top, because even if it's not leaking right now, if it's porous, that's the valley of death before it dies. I thought I was done with the vacuum cleaner here, but apparently I haven't even begun. Oh, I can start to see the valley now. Wow. All right, I'm breaking some of this up with a screwdriver, but see right here? I think that's the oil passage in question. So we can kind of see the top of it here. Okay, this section doesn't look too bad, doesn't look too pitted. And this is more of it right here. It's just so dirty. We gotta get some stuff out of the way and kind of just clean up the top of this. We might get a wire wheel in there too. Let's get a really good look, because it could be anywhere along this block. Oh my gosh. What is this chunk? Is this dead animal? It's a little bit too put together. Well, if it was, it's just gone back to Mother Nature. I'm gonna keep vacuuming, but yeah, we should just get all this stuff out of the way. I'd like to know how this little clip here hasn't deteriorated away. It's in great shape, living above all of that garbage its whole life. Another one right here. And these are vacuum lines going to a coolant tube? I'm not even gonna begin to try to understand what's going on there. I'll find out though, of course, because I'm very curious why. What is this for? Where did these go? I don't know. I just need to clean valleys up. That's all I need to concentrate on right now. All right, I'm gonna mark some of these vacuum lines. This one right here. This one goes to this guy here, which we still don't really know what it does. Okay, yeah. It's all just coming apart. Yeah, we're gonna have to replace all this. All right, let's just cut these ends off, make it easy so we don't snap this. I wonder how much coolant is even left in this. It's been leaking a little from various places. I guess we're gonna find out right now. I don't think there's gonna be much. Man, considering all the corrosion, we're getting really lucky with this hardware. It's not stainless. I don't know why I say stuff like that right before the last bolt that could easily snap. Just don't know why I do it to myself. I ain't afraid of no bolts. I ain't afraid of no ghost. Dude, there were ghosts in here. Mice ghosts. Animals lived and died. This was their home. The V of this engine, the valley of death, even if it's fine, was the valley of death for them. Poor little critters. Okay, got longer ones and shorter ones. Oh, we have nice green coolant. You see that? Wow, that's beautiful. I wasn't expecting there to be any coolant at all, let alone really nice green coolant. Could you imagine if this was Dex Cool from 1981? We wouldn't have a car. It would have just eaten the entire car. It would have been like a swarm of locusts just eating up the whole car. Dex Cool, don't mess around. You don't want to mess with the Dex. Ooh, all right, I should drain coolant. I don't know where the coolant drain is on a DeLorean, and I don't really even care because we're replacing like literally everything in the cooling system. So we can get violent and use cutoff wheels and hose clamps. So this has a line going to it, so is that a cooler? Can't even tell this has a hose clamp anymore. There we go. Yay! Yes, I still don't have a dedicated portable coolant draining device. Going old school. Oh, what will this DeLorean be like when all the smoke clears? Just getting deep there for a moment. You know what might have even been smarter than this? Just drilling a hole in there. I think I'm gonna do it. Don't want to get in the pipe. This is mostly hose. This is asking for trouble. Don't do this at home, people. I'm just having too much fun, all right? Oh, we're almost there. Please don't get all over me. Gotta go quick, gotta go quick. Ah, it worked. I didn't get that dirty either. Stop splashing me. Look at how green this is. They just don't make coolant like they used to. This is the good old stuff you could keep in your engine for 40 years and nothing would happen. Now we've come up with like 10 different kinds of coolants you can't mix or your car will blow up. There's too much going on with coolant these days. You guys ever not know what to do when you're draining coolant? Like, I guess I could go around and cut hose clamps. I like to be efficient. All right, we're all drained out. Oh, she's heavy. Yep, this thing had all of its coolant, I think. That's impressive. Very impressive. All right, with all the coolant drained out, we can continue on here. Now we should be able to remove this whole aluminum pipe. Yeah, so that's the coolant temp sensor, and then, man, what is this? Vacuum lines going into this. Why? I'm gonna find out by the end of the episode, guys. Don't worry. I'll let you know. Okay, they're labeled for you, 1D and 2. The mystery continues. So here is this tube that I want to replace or at least clean up and make sure it's structurally sound. Let's remove this hose off the back of the water pump. And I guess if you're doing a water pump, you definitely have to take apart that entire intake system. You can't get to the back of these without it. Oh, is this seriously just sliding right off? Nice. All right, let's take a look at this tube. It looks pretty bad. Now, let's see how readily available this is. Might be okay, but if we can replace it, why not? Oh, and speaking of things that have been replaced, someone replaced this water pump. The billet pulley is not factory, and it just looks much cleaner and nicer. I bet you this was replaced right before this car was put away. So then the coolant would be from like 1990, 91 instead of 81. But yeah, I think we have a super low mileage water pump. I don't really see a need to replace it. Nothing in the accessory drive made any noise whatsoever, which is amazing. Even the belts look good. I think they were all done right before this thing was put away. You can still see the Made in USA stamp on there. Let's get this little fat hose out of here. I'm seriously surprised at how easy I can take these off. We'll keep going with the vacuum so we can check out this valley. Look at this nice chunk right here. Oh man. Oh, there it is. This is the part of the block. Oh. This is it. This is the oil passage that can break off and corrode. Wow, okay, that looks nice so far. That looks really nice. I mean, I don't want to count my chickens here before they hatch, but I'm gonna count a couple of them. We got a couple of good chickens. I'm gonna break up some of this sludge. Ew. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Look at this stuff. DeLorean owners that have taken their intake off, like let's say you have a car that didn't sit in basically a barn in North Dakota for 33 years. You just have like a normal car, one that was kept indoors and used periodically for the last, 42 years or whatever. Is this what it looks like in here? I know the guy was driving on a lot of dirt roads and stuff like that, but like, is this what happens? This is crazy. I have never seen anything like this. We keep on uncovering new dry dirt in here. All right, how much would it take for you guys to eat a spoonful of this? Ugh. I mean, but what if it was like $1 million and like you get a doctor on hand right next to you? I would do it. I would do it for $1 million. You know how many DeLoreans you can buy for $1 million? Well, in this market, like 12. Then you'd have 12 DeLoreans. Definitely have some nuts or something in here too. All right, more vacuum. All right, guys, I just got done cleaning up, and I personally don't think this looks good at all. There's lots of little craters in there. The casting looks horrible, so I sent a few pictures over to Mike at DeLorean Midwest because he's seen, a few hundred of these, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet on his opinion. Let me just show you guys. So at first glance, everything looks okay, just kind of dirty and corroded, but there's no oil leakage or anything. When it fails, you're gonna start to get engine oil coming out of here. But what he had mentioned is some of the problem areas aren't necessarily even this tube right here, but it's all around the tube can crack off and then obviously affect that inside of these little areas as well. I hope this shows on camera, but this is not flat. Like that's a little crater right in there. Okay, there we go. You can see here that this aluminum casting, I mean, it's garbage. I don't know if that's just what these look like, but look at all the divots in there. I think that looks like it's corroded away and lost some material for sure. I guess in here is okay. I don't know. And I can continue to pick away at this stuff, but I think this is good enough to show its condition. And yeah, just look at that aluminum. That is not good. While I wait for Mike to text me back with hopefully good news. I'm hoping he says that that's just normal. That's just how they look. But anyway, while we wait for Mike, we have a cap and rotor to inspect because it looks like the intake would have to come off to get to that. It's right here, and we're gonna do the wires anyway. So let's see what we got. Taking this cap and rotor off looks fairly easy. A couple clips. There we go. What do we have inside? Oh, this looks good. This looks really good. Yeah, the rotor looks great too. There's no corrosion in here. These don't look too worn out. I'm pretty happy with this. Let's see if we can tell what brand this is. Germany. Yeah, this is Bosch. I'm definitely gonna clean this up and reuse it. So they do have replacements, but they're the cheaper made in China cap and rotor. And in talking with Mike at DeLorean Midwest, he's like, if your Bosch Germany cap is in good shape, roll with that. It's better than the aftermarket. So that's definitely what we're gonna do. Anyway, let's put that back together. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with some heater hoses as well while we kind of wait to hear the fate of this engine. I'm hoping Mike will respond soon. And then I even text him, I'm like, can you send me some pictures of like good ones just to compare? I have this like void inside of me right now because I don't know what's going on with this engine, but anything that I'm gonna be replacing, I will reuse if I need to buy a new engine, like all these heater hoses and stuff like that. I don't even wanna think about that right now though. Let's keep going. Cap is all cleaned up. I left it off so I can get to this. This hose goes to the back of the cylinder head and we are replacing a lot of this, or all of it actually. There we go. I've already disconnected these hoses down below and all of this is going bye-bye. So this is a heater control valve. It gets a vacuum signal from the dash when you turn your little knob there to allow hot coolant to flow to the heater core. But we're replacing all of these hoses. I just sliced them off the tubes down there. So this is all a bunch of nice garbage. So out with the old, in with the new. We just put this all together, all new clamps, new valves, new hose. Let's go back together now. And we'll feed these hoses over yonder. And this guy will go to the back of the head over in this area. This is the vacuum line that goes here. It's in good shape, but we're just a snip away from a nice new piece of vacuum line. There we go. Fresh hoses, fresh vacuum line. Okay, I've ran our 2 new hoses down to the pipes that they connect to. And I'm gonna cut this nice factory DeLorean zip tie with its really awesome piece of leather isolator, whatever this is. This is all DeLorean too. We definitely gotta clean up these pipes. They look kind of nasty. Hard to get anything in here, so I'm just gonna go at this with a little elbow grease and a wire brush. Clean these up as best as we can. I got the tubes pretty clean, but I'm gonna hold off on cutting the hoses until we're done under the hood because these are too long, so we have to cut them, but we need to know exactly where they're gonna be over there. So let's go reinstall some stuff. So with all this here, I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall our cap for the distributor. And she's all cleaned up and pretty and orange. Distributor cap is back on. We'll reconnect the vacuum tube to our new valve. There we go. We're gonna attack a bunch of these coolant hoses now. And these crusty clamps. Look at these crusty old men. Hello. Okay, so, not bad. We got a new one in the kit, so why not? The entire coolant hose clamp kit with the clamps and a new aluminum radiator, I think it was like 800 bucks or something like that, so. What are you gonna do? I keep on coming back to this valley. I know it's a little bit hard for you guys to see depth here, but I mean, there is a bunch of missing aluminum right here. This is a crater. All this should be nice and smooth. There's a little crater there. It just makes you wonder how thick is it on the other side? Okay, it's the next day. Mike from DeLorean Midwest got back to me. He said, Valley looks average. It has deterioration for sure, but looks solid enough to turn the cheek and move along. I gotta say, that does not make me feel good. He hasn't seen it in person, just the pictures. And I know looking at the camera, looking through the lens and seeing what you guys are seeing, it might not look that bad, but there's some divots and I don't feel good. I don't feel good about it. I mean, I'm definitely gonna just move on here, but I think I'm gonna definitely look for a replacement engine, maybe just snag one up that's in good shape and have it on the side because this doesn't make me feel good. That's about it. I think of it as a ticking time bomb. This is like a valley of dying. My valley is, it's dying. I mean, I guess at this point I have it all cleaned up. We're not gonna have any more coolant leaks in there, so it should at least maintain, but this is just another one of those DeLorean things, guys, where if you're gonna buy one of these cars, especially for a lot of money, it might be worth it to get a pre-purchase inspection. That costs a little bit of money because they've removed the entire intake to check the valley of death. And then if you guys watch the restoration video, take the T-roof off and make sure that the whole steel structure that's bonded to the fiberglass isn't all rotted out. Those 2 areas right there, they're huge. And then the whole frame, there's a lot that can go wrong. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn my cheek and continue to grab parts off the table. Oh, and I now know what this does, and it's pretty cool. So this has a vacuum source from the intake manifold, and then there's a valve in here that switches over with heat. So when the engine's cold, it'll send vacuum to richen up the fuel mixture, and then after a few minutes when it warms up, that section of the valve closes, and then the other opens and pulls vacuum on the vacuum advance on the distributor to give it more advance. So it's a dual purpose vacuum switch, no electronics, pretty cool. More coolant hoses coming off. We are gonna restore the entire cooling system now, including a brand new aluminum radiator. All that is getting taken care of. And then, well, this is another big question mark for this video. We have to pull out some drains on the engine block to get the coolant to drain out of the block. And we're gonna look inside of there because sometimes that can get totally clogged and then you're kind of in trouble with the block again. That's the reason why we still have coolant in the block here. It hasn't drained out because we need to open those. But for now, let's get violent. There we go. Whew. All right, we got that out, and I have the clamp down there off as well, so we should be able to, ooh, I hear coolant. Okay, I lost a little bit more. Oh, and look at how far they have the coolant hoses coming onto the pipe. Like, this is the barb end, you just need the clamp on this side, but they like to clamp stuff. And actually, I think we're gonna be eliminating 2 of these clamps with the new kit, I think. Well, now it is time to get this ready for an intake, and we are definitely replacing these seals, although we probably don't have to. They seem to be in pretty good shape, actually. Wow, we're in there though, right? Oh yeah, this is great. Stabbing them. Get out of here. Very satisfying. O-rings are out. Let's get a little whizzy wheel thing. But first, sunglasses. All right, I'm gonna push the paper towel down in there. Don't wanna forget. We also don't wanna get too violent here. Just a light little cleaning is all we need. Because realistically, it's just sealing with that seal. This surface here isn't a sealing surface. I'm just crazy and I like to clean stuff. Okay. Who knew? Who knew it was gonna happen? It happened in the last video, I think, too. We're gonna make it look real nice and pretty. All right, we really don't even need these, honestly. Yeah, it cleans right up. One thing I'm not gonna do is go crazy in here. I'm not gonna mess with really any of this. I'm good with that being dirty because I don't wanna risk grinding through the aluminum. And you know what happens then. Oil everywhere. Valley of Death activated. We don't want that. After cleaning up the intake sealing surfaces, this is what we have. Looking pretty good. This would seal up just fine, and not that you can see any of this, but I might go in here and try and do my best at cleaning up all of this sand and dirt and whatnot. I already started cleaning up some of the intake parts in the parts cleaner, so they used to look like this. And some of this you could see if you have the air box off, but anyway, now they look a little cleaner, and I'm not done yet. I'm gonna get in some of these detailed areas that you can see, like the bolt heads and whatnot, and I don't know, maybe I'll paint these bull horns, and I'll definitely restore the intake. You won't see any of that stuff right above the valley, but I'll clean it up, and I'm thinking about painting the areas that you do see. So I'll freshen this up before the DeLorean is done for sure. We want it to look pretty. Oh, and look at this sweet aluminum radiator. No more plastic end tanks. This is just one piece, and it should last the lifetime of my DeLorean, which is forever. Well, of course, now I've made myself worried about this whole block drain situation, so there it is right there. And yes, I will be replacing this. This is an oil switch, but for now, we're gonna get our 5/16 box end socket. Same one as the oil drain pan. It's kind of weird. And we got that in there. Okay. Okay, that's good. I'm just so afraid of this like porous aluminum block that likes to break apart. I don't think there's any issues with removing these coolant drains. All right, let's get nice and easy now. All right, we have our pan underneath. Let's hope we just get nice, sweet, old school green coolant. There we go, we got something. All right, let's see. How messy is this gonna be? Okay, I think I got this aimed down. Wow, that looks great, guys. That looks so good. Now we gotta peek in there and make sure there's not a bunch of crusties. Ooh. Borescope time. Let's look inside the block. Let us look inside of the DeLorean block. Ah, there it is. Okay. How much are we gonna be able to see? Oh man, it's so up in your face. It's like hard to get it to focus. But I will say this, just from what we can see right now, it's not all furry. It's not all green and corroded. This just looks like nice aluminum inside. There we go. I found a passage. Oh, this is beautiful. We are going where no man has ever been before. The inner workings of an aluminum DeLorean engine block. Ah, there's some more green coolant. Look at that wonderful coolant. I love you, green coolant. You're the best. You've protected the aluminum on the inside so well. Not so much on the outside though, and I found out that the deal with the top of the block there corroding, we think it's because DeLorean would franchise with GM dealers, and back then GM only had steel blocks, so they wouldn't use the proper aluminum coolant. So when these DeLoreans got shipped there, if they ever had to do anything coolant related, they would use the wrong stuff. And if there was a leak or they spilled a bunch in there, that's where you'd run into problems. So this was more of an earlier car issue because then they learned, but all of them could have it. But anyway, this looks so good inside of here. I love it. I love it. We've dodged a DeLorean bullet, I think, with that. Let's keep rolling with this coolant system. Lived a good life. Cool 80s hose clamps. I have a hose clamp box, an old one. And so far I haven't missed because I'm an excellent basketball player. No look. It went in, you could hear it. I'm really not an excellent basketball player. I love basketball, it's the only sport I watch, but I've never played. But I seriously have dreams that I play basketball, like all the time. It's my most common reoccurring dream is that I play basketball, not at like a professional level, just at like a men's league level, and I'm like good in my dreams, but I probably stink in real life. I got more coolant leaking. You know, I don't even know why I take showers in the morning. I just got coolant on my head. Like, what's the point, Alex? Why? Oh yeah, we got lots of crusties. Okay, so this one goes to the radiator. Right here, I'm gonna try and see if we can get this whole thing out in one chunk. That would be sweet. This one will be gentle with. It's in pretty good condition. We're gonna replace it, but I just don't wanna do cut-off wheel stuff over here. Yeah, we're gonna get some more coolant. It's a coolant-y type of day. There we go. Well, I found the drain for the radiator. It's right here. It's a 12 millimeter Allen. So it's not even really tight. Oh, is this why my horn doesn't work? Diagnosed. Oh. All right, that was kind of uneventful. Is that all you got, DeLorean? We need more of a mess. Okay. Little green shower. Stuff's sweet. Don't drink it though. All right, now let's see if we can snake this thing out. I don't think we can. I'm giving up on that idea. This clamp is playing nice. I'm gonna move it from there. That should make it a lot easier. Don't you spin all the way on me. Ah. All right. That's disconnected. Oh, I don't like how difficult this is to remove. All right, awesome. We got this tube out. Definitely going to clean this one up a little bit. Oh my God, I can't believe I got that. All right, this tube's coming out. When will you learn, Alex? There's coolant everywhere. Oh my gosh, jeez. Whoa, are you kidding? Did not see that coming. Oh, where is it coming from? Where did it come from? Where did it go? Na 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 na. What is it? Cotton Eye Joe. All right, I got that disconnected. Disconnect yourself, foo. There we go. Okay, all right, let's lay these out. Will this one be able to sneak out? Probably not. El Pipo. Number 2 coming out? How do you say pipe in Spanish? I have no idea. You can kind of do what people do with Italian. You just add an O at the end, and it's the Italian version. It doesn't really work, but. Hey, another one of those awesome DeLorean things. So this was probably hitting a piece of the frame. How do you fix that? Zip tie a couple of pieces of rubber, and you're good. And there's 2 brackets on each side of the radiator. And I lost that nut. Okay, great. And here's one of them. And here's the washer I dropped. And then we have another bracket on this side. We have to take this bracket off and one on the other side. And there are bolts on the top for this bracket. And yeah, this is gonna remove our horn as well. There's our horn. Now let's see what a DeLorean horn sounds like. We're gonna power probe it. Doesn't work. All right, well that's not surprising. This thing looks pretty horrible. And yeah, it's got dirt inside of it. I'm pretty sure though it sounds like this. Da, 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 da. I didn't do one in this video. It was due. Do we have another horn? One of these gotta work. Oh, we do have another horn that also needs to come out for this job. We have a second chance at horn life. Oh yeah, I'm sure this horn will work. Wow. Clean up the contacts there. No. Yeah, these horns are bad. Not gonna happen. All right, well, I add that to the list. New horns. Getting pretty lucky here. Oh, okay. Why? Why do I say things? Why? Just broke the stud off. It's okay. That's going into the radiator that we are replacing. So here are our brackets. Very crusty. Now we just have to remove this plastic part at the bottom of the radiator. Okay, I probably should have taken this off first. Yeah, without the head out of the way, I did not realize that the AC condenser was mounted separately, but yeah, we are about to come out with the AC condenser. All right, the sway bars are holding this thing in. I don't know if this has any Freon. We're gonna find out. This would be R12, highly doubt it. I think this thing's bone dry. Yeah, it's leaked out. There is nothing left. Yeah, to be expected, 40-something-year-old car. AC probably hasn't been touched in a long time. It was just air and some oil. But cool, well, now we'll get a chance to clean out the condenser. I'll see if I can actually pressure test it at some point, verify that it's good, and then we'll have to convert the system to something more modern, R134A. Okay, that was holding it in a bit. All right, yeah, this darn sway bar is just right in the way. It's hitting the fan motors, but look at this crusty old girl. This sway bar is coming off my car. It's getting blasted and painted or powder coated or something. So let's just do that now. Now I know it doesn't look it, but I sprayed everything with penetrating oil. All right, I got this thing kind of propped up. This thing fell. Oh, there's lots of pieces of this. Okay, we'll get some new sway bar bushings, although we don't really need them. I think the sway bar might be out of the way enough now. Get this out. Oh yeah, okay. Whew. We got it. Fan, radiator, condenser, all in one. It's a beautiful thing. We have our beautiful frame. There is the master cylinder brake booster assembly. I do have a new one of those, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and order up a new brake booster as well. But wow, taking this radiator out really gives you a ton of room in here for cleaning activities. And with these pipes out as well, look at this. We can get in all of these nooks and crannies. I wanna clean all of this up, and I'm gonna be removing every single piece of steering, suspension, the axles, even this, what looks to be a piece of frame is actually a trailing arm, and it bolts to the frame. I'm gonna remove that as well. And we just have so much grime and nastiness everywhere. Guys, I think I'm going to get the 3000 PSI pressure washer underneath this car. It might make a gigantic mess of the shop. I'll have to move some stuff around and drape some plastic over other things. But with the entire steering and suspension and brakes and everything out of here, I mean, how do I not just go to town underneath this car? I have about a month from now to have this thing running and driving for my Halloween deadline. So this is definitely adding a little bit more work, but I'm gonna have all the steering and suspension stuff out of here anyway. Yeah, I gotta do it. So I think we're gonna call it right here. I'm not gonna put the new radiator back in because it's just gonna cover up too much. And the sway bar's gotta come out anyway. And in the next video, we're gonna get really, really dirty. I'm gonna prep this shop over the next couple days for some complete madness and some satisfaction-y goodness, because the underneath of this car is definitely going to transform in the next video. And then after that, we'll start putting it all back together. I'm gonna get a lot of the suspension parts either powder coated or painted after they get sandblasted. It's gonna be awesome. We're doing a lot more work than I had anticipated on, but that's the world of car restoration. So anyway, if you like car restoration videos, then give this one a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and most importantly, have a fantastic DeLorean-y type of day, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Let's see. What am I trying to say? I don't even know. I don't even know. Here's that block. Okay, now I have myself worried about this whole block. This is an oil switch. Kind of do what it. You can kind of do what you do. You can kind of do. And I'm gonna definitely do something about these. And I'll definitely restore parts just like the heads, like the bolt